Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Thank you for being here. Before I go any further, I've just made a bit of a mistake this week. I haven't said thank you at the start of each of the videos, so I'm saying thank you today for the 700 people who are currently subscribed to my YouTube channel as I record this video today. I really do want to thank each and every one of you. We're getting a little bit closer to my 1,000 goal. We're nearly halfway through the year, so maybe 300 by the end of the year would be really nice. Another 300, I should say, or 301, so I can just go above 1,000. That'd be fantastic. But I really do want to say thank you to everybody who subscribed recently. So thank you, thank you, thank you. But anyway, enough of me saying thank you for the time being. Let's talk about today's card. And I've talked about this several times on videos before and on the stream before. My favourite colour in Magic has always been green. I like big green creatures. I like the things green does. I just have always had a thing for green, and I always like looking at the mono green commanders when they come out in each set. And today's one is no different, because one of the things I like going alongside green are tokens. And Quina, Q Gourmet for 2 and a green for a 2/3 Q. I have no idea. I can't remember what Q is now, to be honest. But anyway, is just right up my alleyway. If one or more tokens would be created under your control, you get that many tokens plus a frog token. Yep, yeah, one green frog token. Well, one, yeah. And then you can sacrifice a frog at some stage to feed the Gourmet to put a +1/+1 counter on them. That bit, yeah, whatever. But frogs, I get to play build a deck where I get to have frogs. So that's what I'm doing today. I know token strategies aren't always the most fun things to talk about, but this one is just me and it's green. So please bear with me, and I really do hope you enjoy this one. So here we go. So at the beginning, we'll start with one Planeswalker for the week. Nissa Ascendant Animists. Yeah, the -7 if we can do this to give all our creatures +1/+1 and trample till the end of turn. For every forest we've got. So if you've got 4 forests, +4/+4 +5/5, you know what it does by now. Yeah, especially with hopefully the amount of jumping frogs we'll be having, should be quite good fun. Then we've got 30 creatures in the deck, and most of them have some link to tokens. Starting with Golvane Hydra, because we all know when this dies, we get all those lovely treasure tokens. And because we're getting tokens, because, you know, Quina up here says tokens, you get some treasure tokens. If Quina's in play, you'll get a frog as well. Academy Manufacturer is a no-brainer. We're going for tokens. We've got one way of creating treasure tokens. You can probably spot the rest of them as you go through to give us those extra clue food or treasure tokens. So that's nice. And, you know, get a food token, you get a frog. Get a clue token, you get a frog. Get a treasure token, get a frog. Yeah, maybe. You know. Yeah, that doesn't work because it's one or more tokens. If it's one token, it would work. Ignore that. I completely made a mess of that bit, so sorry. Just pretend that last 10 seconds didn't happen, please. Thanks. Hornet Nest, when it deals damage, you get the insect flying tokens with Death Touch. One of these coming into play will give you a frog. Jorah, Friend of the Forest. Tokens you control have tap, add green. Yeah, that made a lot of sense in this deck to me with the amount of tokens we're hopefully going to be generating. Alongside Peregrine Took, making a wander over from Forgotten Realms. One or more tokens would be created under your control. Those tokens plus a food are created, so yay. Sentinel of the Nameless City comes into play or attacks, we get a map token. That comes into play with Quina in play, we get a frog. Warden of the Grove. This is one of the cards from Tarkir Dragonstorm, the main set. At the beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. And then, whenever a non-token creature you control enters, it endures X. It's just a great way of giving yourself some more tokens, because the White Spirit tokens can come in instead when they endure. So, yeah, let's do that. Watch for Ragstad comes in from Forgotten Realms to have the evolve trigger and then get another copy of it as we evolve, which we should be able to do and start getting a lot of the mutant elks around. Brightcap Badger, comes in from the Bloomberg Commander decks. So we can either have the instant side and get a couple of saplings, and then we can cast a 3/4 creature. Each fungus and sapling gives taps to add mana, and then we can then, at the beginning of our end step, we get a sapling token. Yeah, okay, then 4 mana for, what, 4/5 worth of stats over 2 creatures? Yeah, happy with that. Bristling Bud comes into play, gives us some food, and when we attack we can sack a food. If we do, mill 3 cards, then put a permanent card from among them into your hand. Not the worst thing in the world. 5/5 4 mana that tramples. Happy with that. Halsin, the Emerald Arch Druid, is kind of key in this deck, believe it or not. Because we're in mono green, we are going to have ways of getting extra mana into play, as you can imagine. And paying 1 mana to turn target token you control becomes a bear creature with a base power and toughness 4/4, in addition to its other colours and types, is ridiculously good value. Now, Halcyon is 4 mana to get into play. I'm not going to argue that. But, yeah, you can have frog bears or bear frogs. Bear frog sounds wrong. Let's do frog bears. That sounds better. But, yeah, okay, we can do that. Renata is coming in as well. Each other creature you control enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. So our frogs do actually get a bit bigger with Renata in play. From there, Galadriel, sorry, I'm really tongue-tied, I'm sorry. I'm recording this as I'm tired. Galadriel, Gift Giver. Enters the battlefield or attacks, we get to put +1/+1 counter on another creature, get a treasure or get a food, depending on what we need. Chances are, when you enter, if you've got Quina in play with Galadriel, you'll have the whole treasure or food token, because that will give you a 1/1 as well. That's fine. Mitotic Slime is a weird one. From M11, when it enters the grave, when it's put into a graveyard, you get to have two green O's creature tokens, that when they go to the graveyard you get 2/1/1 green ooze tokens. So basically you go from 1 creature to 2 creatures to 4 creatures. Okay, I'm happy with that. Oja Kaslam just helps out with the land and the creatures, and we all know it flips into the wonderful land if you're really desperate, and then you can transform it back again into Oja. Overlord of the Hauntwoods is in just to give us those lovely everywhere lands, and their tokens as well. So don't forget, you're creating a tapped colourless land token named Everywhere, and because it is a token, it gives you a frog. Frogs get everywhere, I've decided. Yeah. Sinian of Calamity, just for the whole myriad bit, and that means when we attack, we get to have one of each type of Sinians attacking each of our opponents, and hopefully take out some artifacts and enchantments that are annoying us. Yeah, Fat Chocobo from the main set. Gives us a bird token, that's fine. Gives us a frog token if Quina's in play, even better. But then for the next 3 turns, it gives all our creatures trample. Yeah, I'm happy with that plan. Thragtusk just gives us some life in a beast when it dies. Gruff Triplets also come in. Enter the battlefield. If it isn't a token, create 2 tokens that are copies of it, and when one of them dies, you get to chuck around a whole load of +1/+1 counters. Now, we've got a couple of cards that are coming up that can make the Gruff Triplets, yeah, problematic. Let's go with that phrase. Rampaging Baloths, because, yeah, we want to make tokens, so landfall triggers here. Solar Harvest gives us a way to draw cards when other creatures that aren't tokens enter the battlefield. Surak and Goreclaw are here just to chuck around the haste and the trample and the +1/+1 counters. Avenger of Zendikar, no-brainer. We want a big token generator in green. It's here. And then the Giant Adaphage. Deals combat damage to play. You get a token that's a copy of it. Yeah, you can make lots of Giant Adaphages if no one wraths a god. Hornet Queen gives us a whole load of 1/1 flying insects with Death Touch. Old Gnawbone to give us all those treasures. Somberwald Beastmaster also comes in just for a little bit of a laugh. Enters the battlefield, we get a 2/2 Wolf, a 3/3 Beast, and a 4/4 Beast token. But, and this is a big put, it gives all of our creature tokens Death Touch. Yeah, Alpha Strike Sentry, here we go. Titan of Industry, for the little bit of fun of having the Rhino Warrior token, or the life gain, or whatever else we need to do at that stage. Maybe chucking a shield counter on Quina. And finally, because again, it's a card I wanted to play, and I did Uminar, and probably the other card that I should have played over would have been better, which was Heroic Intervention. But I went with Verdant Force. If you don't want to play Verdant Force and have saplings appear in everyone's upkeep, fine. I like that idea, so it's here, but I would potentially recommend, if you want to be a little bit more competitive for the table, because this is bracket 2 as things stand, maybe change this to Heroic Intervention just to keep everything alive. But I'm playing it with Verdant Force. It is what it is. Sorceries, Awaken the Woods to give us those Forest Dryad land creature tokens. Esper Origins is one of the new rares from Final Fantasy set. 2 mana to surveil 2 and gain 2 life. And then if we cast this from our graveyard for the flashback cost of 4 mana, we get to have this. Summon Esper Mode. Reveal the top card of your library. If it's a permanent card, you get to put it in your hand. Chances are it will be. For the second time the counter goes on, we get to add 2 green mana. And then before the Esper dies, at stage 3 of the saga, we get to give all of the creatures +2/+2 until trample until the end of the turn. So 2/3 of an overrun plus the trample. Yeah, okay, we'll go with that. That's fine. Glacial Greens, because we just like the birdies, we can flash this back for 7 if we need to. Nature's Law, Rampant Growth, 3 visits. Told you there'd be Ramp and Cultivate coming soon. And final sorcery, Bestial Menace, a snake, a wolf, and an elephant. And possibly a frog. Yeah, okay then. Happy with that. 2 instants. Arachnogenesis is quite good fun because it gives you all those nice spider creatures and you prevent all your combat damage, especially if someone's trying to smack you over the head with a whole load of dragons. It is quite funny when that happens because you can just create this, cast this as they finish their attack at the end of their attack step, get all the spiders, prevent all damage that would be dealt this turn by non-spider creatures. So if you've got 4 or 5 spiders, you can probably kill the biggest dragon and keep everything alive. Yeah, like that plan. And finally, it wouldn't be a good green token deck without Second Harvest, because who doesn't want to spend 4 mana at the end, in the end step before your turn to make a whole load of copies of all the tokens you've got? Yeah, I do. That's why it's here. Artifacts, a little bit of fun for me today. Astral Cornucopia, another card you can put in, take out and put something else in, but I want to just have some fun with some charge counters, so this went in. The Elixir of Immortality to shuffle everything back in when it goes pear-shaped. Soul Ring, Arcane Signet. Genesis Chamber is geometrical. Don't forget, symmetrical for everybody in play. I'm so tired. I am sorry. Because whenever anyone else casts a non-token creature, they all get a mirror as well. So there you go. We've got the Earth Crystal in here. I didn't play the medallion in here. I decided just to try out the Earth Crystal without the medallion, because chucking around the +1/+1 counters isn't the end of the world either. Chocobo Racetrack, just landfall to give us another token. Throne of Eldraine is here. It's been in every mono deck this week. You know what it does. And a bit of a change for me, the Bootlegger's Stash. Now, this is not a card I play that often, I'll be honest. But I do like the idea of having a way of generating tokens that doesn't cost me anything. Having this in place so our lands can generate tokens. You know, we can do tap a land at everyone's turn to get a treasure and a frog when Quina's in play. So yeah, I thought it made sense in this deck today, hence why it's here. And then to help us out a little bit, the Great Henge had to be in as well. 13 enchantments in the deck, which are all fun. Utopia Spore just gives another way of getting green mana really early. The side quest for Raise a Chocobo. When its enchantment enters, create a 2/2 bird. And at the beginning of your main phase, if you control 4 or more birds, transform this enchantment. Yeah, if you're going to have some of the other things coming in, you may want to hold on to this until you've got some of the other cards coming in. Because if we can get this to transform into the Black Chocobo, it's going to be a lot of pain for a lot of people very quickly. Sphere Grid comes in as well from the new Final Fantasy Commander decks. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to play, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on it. But it gives all our creatures with +1/+1 counters on them reach and trample. It comes from the Counter Blitz decks. If you want to pick one up, go and find one if you can. I really do like this. Awakening Zone just gives us an Eldrazi spawn each upkeep, and if Quinn is in play, it gives us an Eldrazi spawn and a frog. Fey Offering. Yep. Beginning of our end step, we cast a creature and non-creature spell. Create a token, a clue, a food and treasure token. Jurgen Defends the Temple, gives us a monk that we can tap for green. Then we can chuck around some +1/+1 counters. And when the 3rd stage of this saga goes off, we get to transform it into... No, there you go. Remnant of the Rising Star. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay X, put X +1/+1 counters on that creature. And as long as you control 5 or more modified creatures, the Rising Star gets +5/+5 and has trample. Yeah, okay then. That could be quite fun in this deck. Sylvan Scavenging. Chuck around some +1/+1 counters or have the Raccoon token, depending what you need at the time. Guardian Projects is a green deck, no brainer. And then the things that are going to help us. Parallel Lives is here, obviously. Seed of the land, whenever a land comes into play. Again, a symmetrical thing that helps your opponents out as well. Everyone gets a snake token. But you play a land, you get a snake and a frog. Or you may get more, because Doubling Season is also in the deck to go alongside the Parallel Lives. Yeah, I know. Finally, Primeval Bounties in, just to cast creature spells, get beast tokens, or get +1/+1 counters, and landfall for 3 life. And then finally, the one thing that this deck would struggle against would be something with a lot of flyers in the deck. Sandworm Convergence kind of gives you an out against that, which I really do like. And I haven't played the Convergence again. Again, another card, you can put Heroic Intervention in, something else you want to, but I haven't played the Convergence for a while, so it's here today. The lands, I kept it really simple, I'll be honest. Broker's Hideout, Cabaretti Courtyard, and somewhere else, Riveteer's Outlook, just so we can go fetch out some of the forests. Castle Garenbrig, just to pay 4 mana to get 6 mana to play the creature spells. 27 forests. Gingerbread Cavern to give us, hopefully coming to play when we've got 3 other forests in place, so we can get a nice food token to give us a frog if Quina's in play. Homeward Path, so we can have everything saved when it gets nicked. And Nykthos, Shrine to Nyx, because it's a mono deck, you're going to play it. Finally, Yavimaya, Cradle of Growth, is also in to help us out. And that's it. Unusually for me, the deck video's gone on for a while, so I'm going to do this really quickly. That's my take on Quina. I really like playing mono green, so yeah, you'll see this on stream very soon. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you again for everyone who subscribed recently. Leave me some comments down below. I will read them all. I will respond to them all. Please hit the like button. Please hit the share button. Please tell your friends about me so they come and subscribe as well and help me get towards my 1001 target. And if you want to see me play Quina, there's a link down below to Twitch. Come and follow me there, and you can probably see me play Quina tonight when this video goes out. But for now, thanks for watching. Take care. I'll see you next week. Bye bye.